Hey, I'm back again. So you've completed Module 1, Developing a Risk Mindset. I've tried to set out the ideas behind fear, a blame culture, risk aversion. So we started the module from what is the very negative standpoint around risk that revolves around risk. I've looked at a series of principles because I think it's important to have confidence in our practice if we're clear about the principles that guide us and guide our thinking. I've offered you a number of quotes which hopefully come at a kind of left field angle to help us to reflect and think about risk and the context and the work that you do, the person that you are. And the counterbalance at the end of this module has been to focus on positive risk taking, which is the overarching theme for the whole training course, but to focus in very specifically on our language and what do we mean by that concept and how do we put that into practice. There have been a few PDF attachments, and I hope you've permitted yourself the time to look through those and given yourself that bit of time to reflect on some of the messages that are coming across. I think it is very important in terms of training. We're not here about ticking boxes. So it's not module 1 done, let's race on to number 2. I really do want you to gain the benefit from thinking about the messages and thinking about how they apply to you. And most importantly, we should always be reflecting on how we change. I can't magic away the blame culture. That's there. But what I have to say throughout this training is I don't want people to feel that the blame culture is the main driver of how you think and how you practice. I can't take away a risk-averse approach to the way people work. In fact, I've said on a few occasions, and it will come up in subsequent modules, a risk-averse decision is not a bad decision. It's about clearly reasoned decisions. And certainly if we go back to that definition of positive risk taking, which is weighing up the pros and the cons of the different options, then again, a message that I will repeat through the modules is that when the evidence weighs up more on the con side rather than the pro side, when the evidence is there to back up the risk averse approach, that is the right decision to make. But it is about really getting to grips with our thinking and our language around this concept of positive risk taking and how it supports us to make those clearly reasoned risk decisions. So that's module 1. Move on now to module 2, which will be entitled Working with Risk. And in that one, we'll look much more at the concept of risk assessment and, again, part of the subtitle, why ticking boxes is not the way forward and how we need to transform our thinking from a tick box approach to something that is very practical in the here and now, the kind of approach, the kind of prompts, the kind of guides and supports and checklists and that will help us to make those clearly reasoned risk decisions. Thank you for your attention so far. Enjoy Module 2.